This is Radio Free Cybertron episode 920. I'm Exvee, filling in once again for hosting and streaming duties because Brian unfortunately has a high fever with probably the flu. Get well soon, Brian. I'm so sorry that there has just been this string of badness on your life. You deserve a break. I hope you'll be back with us next week feeling better. Radio Free Cybertron, of course, is the world's first and oldest toy and action figure podcast. We go all the way back to the late days of 1999. We have hundreds, thousands of episodes in our archive on tfradio.net. It's staggering, and for some of us who have been there from the very beginning of it, perhaps a little depressing. I'm Exvee. I'm joined by Diecast, live from Seattle.
From Seattle. Yes, get out your Where in the World is Diecast bingo card. And
maybe we should do that as like
Seattle.
a side game, like the RFC drinking game.
Yeah.
We could incorporate that into the RFC drinking game. Diecast in a hotel. Take a drink.
Yeah, but does he have a cool theme song like Carmen Sandiego?
No, that's Don.
Hi.
Don, Diecast doesn't deserve that.
No, that's kind of what I was thinking too. That was Matt.
Hello.
And we have Rob Clay.
Hello.
So yeah, John DeLuna is out on parenting duties tonight, and so it's we're just flying a little bit fast and loose here. We've got a fair bit to talk about during the show this week. Hopefully we won't be running too terribly long, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. So we're going to start off with a rumor. This information is purportedly from someone who has provided solid information on upcoming masterpieces in the past. So we're treating this with a little bit less skepticism. But apparently there is an MPG Optimus Prime in the works right now.
Just what the world needs.
Yeah.
MPG 4.0.
Yeah.
Directly on the heels of God Ginrai.
Yeah, literally. Okay, so like the information presented is for the next like 3 after Rat Trap. So MPG 16 is supposed to be what they're calling Black Super Ginrai, Nucleon Quest Super Ginrai, which we saw from the T-Spark event last week or the week before. So
And then a hauler. Hauler is just a recolor of, it's a green
grapple.
Yeah. So
yeah, so that's positioned potentially as MPG 18. So MPG 17 right now is apparently a coin toss between either the Optimus Prime 4.0 or Jazz.
And I'm really hoping it's Jazz.
I mean,
and just make Optimus Prime 4.0 like MPG 19.
I mean, how angry do you think everyone would be if finally Masterpiece Jazz gets bumped indistinctly down the line in favor of doing another new Optimus Prime iteration?
I would laugh so hard.
Okay,
I'll
yes,
be mad.
But we're evil.
Yeah. Hey,
Does the rumor count from credible sources as a announcement in 2025?
No, because I had to Kilby made me specifically add or leaked onto one of mine, and you did not do that.
The thing is though, Diecast, if Jazz does end up being MPG 17, we will have a solicitation before the end of the year, so you'll be able to get your prediction credit if they go that way and not Optimus 4.0. But like I have no reason to think they wouldn't go Optimus 4.0. If anything, what I think would happen here is they would bump up Hauler to MPG 17 and do Optimus as MPG 18 just to not have that back-to-back with Nucleon Quest Super Ginrai. Like,
that would make sense, too.
Dumb question.
Yeah, well, there's no dumb questions, Rob, because this is a dumb premise in the first place.
Okay. I remember that the original version of Nucleon Quest was sold as Nucleon Quest Super Convoy.
Yes.
Is there a possibility there's just crossed wires here, and that is the Optimus Prime they're expecting that could be coming down the line?
I mean, like, I can see why that would be a natural conclusion to reach, but I would assume if this person is reliable, credible with their insider information, like, they probably would be able to determine the difference between that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Don?
I mentioned this in our group text the other day. if they do Optimus Prime, I want it to be Action Master Optimus Prime, so that if you don't want to transform him, he looks like Action Master Optimus Prime. But if you do want to transform him, he'll look like the cab to his battle base. That way, you get Masterpiece Action Master Optimus Prime.
I mean,
that will be the most insane thing.
Yeah, I
can think of.
I don't hate that concept at all, Don. Like,
I'm not sure how many people would get the reference, though.
Right.
I don't hate the concept, but at the same time, if what you're wishing for is a Masterpiece Transformer, you don't have to transform. Maybe just wish for the money to stay in your wallet.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'm wondering if Yellow Park might actually have a plan to do that at some point, because that would be a perfect thing for them to do. Are Action Masters?
I mean, Flame Toys could do that too.
So, I mean,
actually, Blockies would be a great format for Action Master characters.
Yeah,
they're about the same size.
Yeah, but I kind of would want a little more attention. Like, maybe Yellow Park could do like above Blockies but below their pro stuff. I don't have any experience with their like the small ones that Diecast doesn't really care for. I've never dealt with them, so I don't know about that size class. But if this is like, I'm sorry, Masterpiece Action Master Optimus, I think would just break so many people. And I don't mean that from a fun standpoint. It's just the one thing we would never expect them to do is a transforming, non-transforming Transformer.
Say that 3 times fast.
No, I can't even remember what he just said.
Do you think this is an admittance on Takara's part that Optimus Prime 3.0
MP44
MP44 wasn't the best? Maybe after it came out, they're like, there was problems with it. It was hard to transform.
I mean, they did retool it into the toy version and sold it again.
Yeah,
and there was the Black Convoy version of it also.
Yeah, they just want to make money off the mold, but
maybe a Shattered Glass. I
mean,
I think that's coming. Yeah.
MP10 to MP44. There was a long period of time between those, and it seems
about the same amount of time between MP1 and MP10.
Yeah, and maybe it's just because I'm older, but it seems like MP44 wasn't that long ago, and now we're already talking about another Optimus Prime.
It was a couple years ago, but not nearly as long as the previous.
Okay, I don't know what the source of this is. Manny Kara in our Discord, tfradio.net/Discord, is saying that the rumor is Takara lost the MP44 mold when they moved factories, so they had to remake it. That would be weird if true.
Yeah, because the MP44.
I saw someone mention that in a TFW post, and apparently there were a couple of molds in that rumor. I can't remember what the other ones were though.
Maybe that's why they redid the reissue of that as just the robot. Because if they had to remake it, they needed to get money to try to pay for that mold after remaking it, and the trailer is what's missing.
Manny says the same rumor says Masterpiece Cliffjumper died because they also lost Bumblebee 2.0.
Yeah, that's something else I wanted to say. The Cliffjumper that we saw has vanished.
Yeah,
that's been several years ago at this point.
Yeah, that would explain why we never got Cliffjumper.
Yeah, I feel like the
it didn't look very good, so I can't say I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Well, couldn't they use 1.0, or would that be even worse?
I mean, they would still have to start over and retooling new parts for it to be Cliffjumper.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fit in with the current aesthetic of G1 Masterpiece. It's like the original Masterpiece Bumblebee is not particularly cartoony.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be a stopgap measure at best.
I thought we saw a Cliffjumper after the newest Bumblebee that we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one they're saying that was lost.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And it didn't.
But that was several years ago.
Yeah, I think we saw the first leaked test shots of purportedly Masterpiece Cliffjumper. I think back when I was still writing for T-Formers. Like, I think it's been
Wow,
that long back.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Time's moving really fast.
Time keeps on slipping into the future.
Time, the fire in which we burn. Haven't had one of those in a little while.
Yeah.
Burning
So I
quick.
hope it's jazz. I mean, I've got downbeat, so I'm happy. But I do hope it's actually jazz and not another Optimus. But if it is another Optimus, I want something absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, off the wall would be fun. I just don't think it's plausible. I mean, especially, too, if the rumors are pointing to this being Optimus Prime 4.0, that indicates, like, a knowledge of intent, at least, that it be, standard, straight-up Optimus Prime, not a odd variant. Manicure says MP44 will be 6 years this summer. That's some time flying, too. Like, MP44 doesn't seem like it should be that long ago.
No, definitely not.
On the other hand, though, it's the thing that came out after Masterpiece Beast Wars Megatron, and that was a heck of a while ago, too, at this point. So
At this point, I just hope maybe it's the Fire Guts version.
I mean, we'll get Fire Guts God Ginrai in MPG. Like,
You just have to get God Bomber first.
Right. So God Bomber, I think, is supposed to release in June. Tokyo Toy Show is probably going to be late August or early September. So they would have a perfect production timeline there to get the Fire Guts colored versions of both toys done and ready for distribution for Tokyo Toy Show exclusives, as I predicted in our prediction show last week. tfradio.net/919. All right, moving on. What's next? Oh, yeah, so we've got our first listings, I think, for 2026 product. It's Studio Series leaders. So first up, we have a listing for Studio Series Transformers: The Last Night Nemesis Prime, which is certain to be a recolor or retool of the movie Optimus that's coming out in this next wave, I think. So easy recycling there.
All they have to do is give it purple eyes.
Yeah, I mean, Nemesis Prime in the movies was not much of a departure from just Optimus.
Yeah.
Oddly.
To the point where most of his dialogue was, "I am Nemesis Prime," so you could tell the difference.
Yes!
To be fair,
and the eye color. That's it.
Optimus Prime was pretty evil all along.
Yeah.
Exactly why he had to identify himself as, more evil.
Yeah.
Because otherwise no one could tell.
Then we have Studio Series 86 Astro Train.
I hope this is a redesign.
My expectation of this is that it would probably be something like what we got with Springer.
I hope so. I want to say I've heard that if they do Studio Series 86, it would just be like a straight up repaint repackage. I can't remember where I heard that from though, so grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
But I would hope that they at least do the Springer level of retooling on it.
Yeah, because that Astro Train is a good looking Astro Train, but it's not 86 Astro Train. Not with all that techie, greeble. It doesn't have the cartoon smoothness to be 86 Astro Train.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could work with the skeleton that's there and, do some modifications on that, keep it in the leader price point, but yeah, like, dress it up a little bit better to represent the cartoon than what Siege was doing. On the other hand, like, I would also be fairly happy to just get that, clean in Astro Train deco.
Didn't we get that with the 3-pack that they
That's
just
not
did?
out yet.
The Takara.
But the triple takeover one is not out yet.
But now there's literally no reason to buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this makes it completely superfluous to needs.
Yeah, it doesn't even have
included furniture.
It doesn't even have a mainframe to try to sell
a chair.
It. Yeah. I mean, okay. Realistically, does anybody want more of that chair?
No.
No, but it's funny.
And in the same respect to Astro Train in this list, Soundwave is there too, leader Soundwave, and I'm I don't need any more of that mold that we already have for
Okay,
Soundwave.
but this
I
one,
want...
we do know that they are not entirely happy with the Soundwave that's out there now. They want one that scales with 86 blaster.
Evan has publicly
Good.
expressed that if he was going to make Studio Series 86 Soundwave, he would want to start over from scratch and make a whole new one. I really hope 86 Soundwave comes packaged with Buzzsaw so that the Legacy one becomes absolutely 100% pointless to have existed.
So that's why I'm thinking about taking my Legacy one back, because I've still got a couple of weeks left on the return window. So I'm seriously considering doing that.
Or my wish is that it would come with a newly sculpted Ravage.
What if the tapes are a little bit different size? Then you might be stuck getting all the tapes again.
I don't think they would do that because they've already done 86 Rumble and Frenzy.
And they could do Enemy. I know he doesn't fit with the 86 movie, but they could work him in that way.
I mean, they could absolutely reuse that tape mold and squeeze an Enemy in anywhere they want to. But I just want a new Ravage because the one we have is not good.
I don't think it's possible to do a good Ravage.
I'd like to see them try.
But they did a good still. Never mind.
Yeah, see, that's what I would actually expect. If they were going to do a new Ravage and try to have a good cat robot mode, they would probably go the Steeljaw route and just have it cheat horribly to get there. And I mean, maybe as a pack-in, I wouldn't mind that so much, but I certainly would not be satisfied with that if it was its own thing. No, but my monkey's paw cynical prediction for the Soundwave is that they're just going to forgo having a tape compartment at all. The tape deck doors will just be molded on fake in both modes. They will still insist.
I don't think they would do that. Not with existing tapes in the line already.
They'll insist though on still having the window be clear, even though there's nothing behind it. So the entire torso will be cast in transparent plastic and painted over.
Okay, yeah, that is a monkey's paw wish.
Yeah. I don't do anything by half measures.
Yeah, no, the Laserbeak mold we have is fine. The Rumble and Frenzy mold we have is fine. The Ratbat mold we have is fine. Ravage needs another go.
Ravage is going to need no end of more goes because again, I don't think you actually can make a good Ravage.
What I think what they may do if they do this Soundwave and we get a better Ravage and we get whatever, they might do what they did for Double Dealer and do Stripes, Enemy, all those other cassette colors in a selects 4-pack like they did for Double Dealer to give him his 2 Power Master slabs.
So straight up, this is Studio Series 86, or what used to be Studio Series 86. The 86 is dropped from the branding for this product year. I don't think they're going to include a tape that was at least not in the movie.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So probably the realistic option here is that Soundwave would probably come with a Ratbat because that's one of the, major cassettes that has not had an update or a re-release in several years. And Ratbat was in the movie.
Well, they've done Frenzy Red and Frenzy Blue.
Mm-hmm.
But the molds were the same.
Mm-hmm.
So they really couldn't do anything with those unless they changed the colors. Were the colors on those two close enough to the movie as they were? Or is there any color shifting that can be done?
So
Frenzies don't change.
Right.
And the Blue Rumble we've already gotten 2 versions of. We've got a toy and an animation.
The toy version came with Legacy Leader Soundwave. The toy version came with Legacy Buzzsaw, is probably how I should actually say that. And yeah, red cassette, be it Rumble or Frenzy, whichever, there's not really a visual distinction. Cartoon Rumble was a off-the-wall color scheme versus the toy. Cartoon Frenzy stayed close to Toy Rumble.
And I wonder why we get confused over this.
I'm not confused.
I am. Because I'm trying to picture in my head and I'm going cross-eyed.
Blade Runner says Ratbat is in an upcoming target set with Perceptor and Ramhorn, which actually just kind of cements that like they could use Ratbat as the pack-in for Studio Series Soundwave because a mold already exists. It'd be an easy thing to just toss that in there, maybe with some deco tweaks. It wouldn't be a big extra expenditure to make Ratbat for that specific purpose. You're just pulling something from the catalog at that point.
So pretty much, I'm taking my Soundwave back. Okay.
I mean, again, there's no guarantee that there's going to be a buzzsaw in the Studio Series Soundwave. I'm just positing that to make the Legacy one be as irrelevant as possible after we all bought it.
And then, of course, the last thing on the list
Package
is
refresh of Snarl. Which is
Which
fine.
is good because
Yeah, it's good to keep the Dinobots in circulation. Like, I support that.
Absolutely, especially because he was one of the early ones.
Snarl was the fourth one.
The fourth?
Yeah, that's the Stegosaurus.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
Distribution on it wasn't great, as I recall.
Yeah, Swoop has been the easiest one to spot overall. Well, Sludge was the easiest one.
No, so in my experience, Slug was the one that you would see the most commonly. Sludge was not hard to get either, but like the Triceratops was the one that seemed to hang around forever everywhere I went.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot more Swoops in normal retailers than I ever saw Snarls.
I've only seen Swoop in person at GameStop, but I mean that's at least something. No,
I haven't seen any.
No, it's a good thing going forward if they just keep a rotation of the Studio Series Dinobots in production, in circulation for as long as they can manage to keep producing them.
Absolutely.
The Dinobots are fairly good evergreen material because, like, every time somebody comes into Studio Series for the first time, like, finding out those exist, that's going to be something that they're going to want to start collecting. So, like, it's a solid proposition.
And I think I see, and this will come up in, one of the later news topics, but they're gonna produce less of these toys. And
yes,
I think
smaller waves this year.
Smaller waves, but less quantity. Like if they normally ran 20,000, Optimus Primes, maybe they're gonna run, 15,000. And if it's really popular and they see that people still want it,
you can re-release it.
They'll re-release it a year and a half later at a specific retailer or something.
Mm-hmm. All right, so on February the 7th, Hasbro is going to have a panel at Orlando's MegaCon, and that will be featuring the reveal and launch of the next Transformers HasLab.
Okay, so Emily was dropping hints on social media saying that she's been watching, in preparation for this, a lot of subtitled G1.
Did she say subtitled G1 specifically, or just subtitled Transformers?
Subtitled G1.
Interesting. So maybe it is going to be our Leo Kaiser.
Oh, I hope not. I was leaning towards Overlord or Big Powered.
So I guess out of those, I would hope for it to be Big Powered because that's the one I would have the least interest in backing.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be Leo Kaiser because I really want that to be a retail toy so we can get recolors. I want the Rescue Force.
I feel like Raiden is a possibility just because they're not going to do a wave of 6 rectangles at any point.
Okay, see, I didn't even think about Raiden.
I would buy an Overlord if they did it.
Well, yeah, that's why I don't want the HasLab to be Overlord.
And I'll be honest, if it's Overlord, I have the fans hobby, so I think
Don, you are not fooling anyone. You will buy 3 of them.
No, I won't. Not for Overlord. Not for Overlord.
If it was
Will you buy one?
All right, everyone, remember this. It is episode 920.
Yeah.
Remember this for when Don eventually buys 3 of them when he said he won't.
Well,
I'll consider it. It just depends on if they do something that really gets my attention, but I'm really happy with the Fans Hobby one.
We'll revisit this plot thread in episode 922, which will be our recording after the
Yes.
MegaCon panel.
Yes. The important thing is it looks like they're already trampling all over my predictions for the year. And I am perfectly okay with that because I would much rather have something weird in Japanese than, a Robots in Disguise Megatron.
Oh,
Does it count as beating the prediction if Don buys 4?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. If I get it, it'll just be one. Trust me.
I don't think we're playing by
Dawn will
price
Overlord
buy
is not
at
that
least
important to me.
3. Dawn will buy at least 3.
Overlord's not that important to me.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I'll agree with Don. But just the fact that he'll buy one, then him saying, "Oh, the fans' hobby's fine," is irrelevant because if the fans' hobby is fine, you wouldn't buy one.
The power of Dononomics will compel him to buy 3.
We shall see, Matthew. We shall see.
Indeed. So speaking of keeping stuff in circulation, Hasbro announced re-releases of Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus and Legacy Beachcomber for later this year. Legacy Beachcomber, at least, is already pre-sold out on Hasbro Pulse, not particularly surprisingly. I did not go investigating if the other retailers carrying this reissue still have slots open, but
Magnus is sold out too.
yeah, okay, that's not really surprising.
Yeah. And this is my point. I think they want to do this model as opposed to release as many as you can and they all show up at Ollie's.
I mean, it certainly looks better for the brand if they have to do reruns versus having unsold inventory. And honestly, this isn't a terrible model if they can keep up with doing this. Like, if you can rely on that a year or 18 months after the first release, there will be an opportunity to buy it again for the people that can't or don't want to jump on the pre-orders when they go up the first time. Like, that's a good measure of security to have for non-immediate collecting styles, let's call it.
Yeah.
As long as they're rerunning that Ultra Magnus, I mean, if they really wanted to, they could go ahead
Killing Jar.
Well, I was going to suggest for me a movie previews /
Oh,
Delta
yeah.
Magnus, but Killing Jar was in there as well. They could do both of those.
Yeah, just do all the Ultra Magnuses while they're rerunning this.
All 3 of them.
No, there's Shining Ultra Magnus also. There's Force.
Oh, there is Shining Ultra Magnus.
Oh, that would be so terrible.
That would be awful.
Yeah.
But Hasbro has, openly said they're very aware of the aftermarket prices on these.
Yeah, the Transformers team at least keeps up with that, and they try to push for stuff to get re-released when it's like prohibitive to obtain after it's gone.
Thank you, Transformers team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good guys.
I think that's a great job. Yeah, absolutely.
So we have our first look at the Authentics Bravo Series Elita-1.
Oh god.
I like the car mode. That's all
me
I have
too.
to say on the subject.
No, I do too. Actually, like, the car mode on it is pretty good. I'm showing the robot mode on the live stream right now. It's not so good.
Why does the
This is a
vehicle
$5
look like...
It's a $5 toy diecast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks like RC to me. It looks like the...
No, but I mean, look at this car mode. It's really cool. Like, I really dig this. I would love to get a Generations style toy based off of this design.
Yeah.
Also, I think they've changed the packaging for Authentics this year.
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah. Like more of an enclosed box style, presumably with no front window on it.
I'm gonna figure there is a front window, but that just
Maybe
seems to be how packaging's been going.
Yeah, I mean this is a mock-up render, but like they've moved away from the blister cards that the Authentics have been using before, which, let's be honest, kind of made them look more knockoffy.
They did.
Yeah, I liked the Mirage we talked about a couple of weeks ago. I do not like this. I'm sorry, I just do not.
I like the car mode. I like
the car.
Yeah, that's why I want to see it done in a higher end toy, because like I think the problems we take with the robot mode are just the artifact of having to meet the Bravo series requirements. Like,
Yeah, but this is not something I would buy even for a child.
well, no. No.
I would be basically okay with it if the legs were a little less hollow, but that is just, part and parcel of where the Authentics,
Yeah.
fall.
Right. Yeah, no. Authentics have interesting design ideas sometimes, like the cosmetic design of them is interesting sometimes. It's just they need better quality of toys to actually achieve the execution of those designs.
Yeah, I don't know why. I do feel like this is better than a lot of the other Authentics, just overall. Even not just the vehicle mode. I again, I can't explain why. It just feels a little bit less. I don't know, just blocky in a bad way. Like, it is possible to be blocky in a bad way, and I feel like Authentics frequently hits it.
We have a look at the a Mission 5 pack for the Swapticon. So the Swapticon's Wild Jungle Mission 5 pack, which has like Beast Wars characters in it. So we've got in here Optimus Prime on Ape Link, Skullcruncher, and Megatron Gator, and Scorponok down here all by himself. The interesting thing is that Optimus Primal is a back end component, while Ape Link is the front end, and you would kind of think Optimus Primal, if anything, would be the front end for any given combination. But I'm not the designer for these, I suppose.
Yeah, I tell you though, looking at that set, it's just a lot of monkey business going on there.
I kind of feel like Scorponok has a little bit of like maybe the Happy Meal toys color going on with him. Maybe that's just me.
Just I know these Swapticons aren't made for me, but they're not doing anything for me either. So I hope the kids love them. I hope they're successful. That's really all I see is, for that.
Yeah,
Not a line I'll be buying into.
I want to pick up a couple sets just to do silly combinations with them, but like, yeah, I'm not like super invested in the idea of the Swapticons. It seems like a thing to get as a novelty once just to play with the gimmick, and then that's about it.
I don't think these are going to do well. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do well for, kids and stuff, but I just don't see it.
I think they'll do well enough, but I don't think they're going to be anything that people look back on as fondly as they do, say, bots.
No, I don't think we'll ever recapture bots or bot shots.
No.
Bot shots was a lot of fun too.
It was.
All right, so we have some in-hand photos of Studio Series Dark of the Moon Q or Wheeljack. I think these are screenshots taken from a video review. So they're not like the greatest quality, but there's basic turnarounds, and look at the accessories like the stick he comes with. I'll be honest, I don't remember a ton about Q in that movie, except that he got executed like 5 seconds before the cavalry rode in and saved everybody else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the gray plastic on this is just not good.
The this whole Studio Series wave seems to be kind of having that problem.
I feel like that's just part of the movie designs. There are a lot of big gray areas
yeah.
that are easy ways to not have to paint large areas of the figure, but also have the results of not having to paint a lot of the figure. But yeah, like I'm fond of saying, Q gets executed while begging for his life to show how bad the villains are about 15 minutes before Optimus Prime does exactly the same thing to Sentinel Prime.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Dark of the Moon, such a great movie.
And it's not even the worst of the Transformers movies.
No,
that's
frightening.
Yeah, that's that's the.
And I mean, how
part.
many of us kind of guessed what was going to happen after they dropped that little reference of the one where Spot goes mad? and we all knew that Nimoy was doing the voice of Sentinel Prime. I mean, that was kind of a big giveaway there. At least it was for me.
Okay. We've got some in-hand pictures of Devastation Deluxe Optimus Prime, which seems to be kind of it's a very like love it or hate it kind of thing, I think. Or at least, be indifferent to it or hate it, I guess.
I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It's not something I need in my collection, but it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, I
No,
mean, I said when I got Studio Series 86 that I was probably done with 1984 style Optimus Primes, and I certainly mean to stick with that.
We all pretty much said the same thing, and this is not tempting me to break that promise.
The only thing about this
he also looks small for a deluxe.
Yeah, a little bit. The only thing that interests me with this is what I think Evan was saying on one of the live streams. Like, part of their motivation for this was to have a small Optimus Prime so that with Studio Series Devastator, you could kind of recreate some of the fight scenes from the Devastation video game. So, like, they wanted an Optimus Prime that would scale to Studio Series Devastator and make him look big and imposing. And, like, I kind of like that as a concept. At the same time, I have, Kingdom Core Class Optimus Prime that I could do the very same thing with.
Yeah. And we were just talking about how bad like the Games Workshop gray is. This white is like not helping at all.
I don't have a problem with that so much.
Yeah, I think the white is fine personally.
Also, we do have a picture a little ways down of Devastation Optimus next to Legacy G1 Toy Optimus, and it is actually a little bit taller than that.
Is that the Core Class trailer that it is shown with?
Might be the Earthrise one.
Yeah, could be.
How can you tell the difference?
I suppose.
Yeah, either way, it scales relatively well with that. So
yeah, and it scaled well with the Legacy G1 toy too.
Yeah, I am just very curious though who decided on the official photos for this, because they managed all these photos taken by whoever got this make those rocker ankles look so much less horrible than the official photo. Like,
Here's the
it's
thing.
kind of amazing.
Yeah, I think that's the Earthrise trailer. Looking at it again.
On the back of the box, it says there's 21 steps. I want to know how that's 21 steps. It looks like it'd be like 6. I think I've had Authentics that had more steps in this way than what this looks like.
Well, the cab looks like scales better with the Earthrise trailer than the Earthrise Prime did.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
There's that.
Yeah, no, that trailer was always undersized for the Earthrise toy. It was the best they could do for a leader price point. Like, it took Commander to get us the scale we actually should have had.
And honestly,
even the Matrix is unpainted, and that's just
Yeah, it's probably on the same part sprue with like the smokestacks, and that's probably an unpaintable sprue.
Yeah.
Bad.
I mean, like,
if you did not have the what do you even call it? Like the stickers on the windshields to make it look cell shaded, and you showed me this Optimus Prime, I would just think it was a generic Legends Optimus Prime.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the cell shading on the windows is the only thing specifically tying this to Devastation, which I'm sure is on purpose because they want to be able to reuse this, more times. Yeah, I don't hate this.
I'm fine with it.
I can understand why it would exist, and even why it exists in the form that it does. And the thing that I keep coming back to is the 2006 Classics Deluxe Optimus Prime, and this is easily a much better toy than that was. Now, mind you, that came in a 2-pack that cost less than this is going to when this comes out at retail. But, that's just the times we live in.
Yeah.
No, if this was a $15 toy at its size and complexity that it is, I think this would be great. as a $25 toy, it kind of falls into that same trap that like 86 Bumblebee does. It's a perfectly fine toy. It just maybe doesn't necessarily live up to the price that it has to live at.
Yeah, if this shows up on Amazon for like a good bit less than retail, like a lot of deluxes have on and off the last couple of years, I will absolutely get it then.
Yeah. And I'm not used to looking at a deluxe and saying, hey, if there's an upgrade kit for this that can help this with a lot of the
Yeah,
shortcomings.
that's what I was thinking when I saw that.
And see,
I mean,
like,
if there's a Toy Hacks decal set that adds more cell shading to the deco, I would actually be interested in that.
that's
I
a
think
distinct possibility because that'd be a really easy thing for them to design.
Yeah.
And the what you were saying were white bits, and it might just be camera and photo and all. They look like unpainted gray parts to me, and that's what's kind of.
They do look kind of like off-white, but yeah, like you say, that could be the lighting or it could just be the camera treatment. Like, it's hard to tell. It's probably gonna be somewhere in that neighborhood because like they are trying to go for a cartoon-inspired look, so it's gonna trend toward white, but they might not have like the brightest bone white plastic for that.
It reminds me of the white that came on Ape Face, just not dirty by the siege scuffing.
Yeah, so like I don't have that sense with this because like these parts look fully opaque. Ape Face had that like slightly translucent milkiness to it. Yeah.
There are a couple of photos in the gallery where the white does look a little bit milky.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I hope is that there's just a difference in a difference between the gray for the grill and the bumper and the white of the lower torso and the legs. Like, to be honest, as long as those are different, even if the white is just a little bit like translucent, I can actually still live with that.
And I don't think those are going to be different colors because I think those are probably all on the same parts tree with the smokestacks.
Tragic.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, moving on, we have some more pictures from Mark Mayer on his Instagram of Titan class Star Optimus Prime Star Convoy.
Now, I love all of this.
I'm not a big fan of Star Convoy, and I think, I mentioned the last time we saw more photos of this, I was like, I'm all in. Mark did a great job photoing this, and it shows how fun the toy is, and I'm definitely liking it.
Yeah, I love how much play features is being depicted in these photos. Like, that's a great thing to see in modern Transformers, where it's all usually about the posability and just having, like, transformation complexity. I miss action features or, base playset kind of stuff. I miss them being able to do other things as toys. I also just don't feel super compelled to spend $150, $160 on this.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. Now, this is something when I was looking at the pictures earlier, I was going to bring up. Now that we have these little modules for Star Convoy,
The
like
MicroMaster trailers.
Not just that, but also that's almost the same thing that Sky Gary would carry.
They are, yeah, they're micro trailers.
Micro trailers.
Yeah, I brought that up the first time we learned of this.
Okay, yeah.
Of course, these trailers are not especially micro because again, that hot rod is like core class size plus a little bit.
Right. I didn't remember that we had covered that before. It's just I just realized that when I was looking at these pictures, it's like, oh yeah, so.
Yeah, I like that Mark clearly put some thought into these photos too, and looked like he's having fun. Because he turned Star Convoy's arms into manned gun emplacements, which is pretty creative.
Yeah, no, it's really great. He generally seems to have a good time playing with the toys to show them off on his Instagram, and I love that about this whole thing. Like, I love that he gets to do that as part of his job, and I just love that, like, that joy comes through in what he's presenting to us. More of that, please. So, like I know we've all had like strong opinions about Masterpiece Raiden from either firsthand experience or just like the general like atmosphere of experiences around this. But don't you think that what would immediately just fix this up is a DNA Designs upgrade kit for Masterpiece Raiden?
I mean, it'll make it a little bit better.
Well,
incrementally.
it cleans up the proportions a tiny bit.
Yeah. I mean, there's always that saying, you can't polish a,
Turd.
yeah. But,
I'm sorry, but I bought 3 of these, and when I took Getsaway out of the package, part of him fell off. There is no amount of upgrade kit that is going to fix this toy for me.
yeah, and luckily I didn't open any of mine, so they're not broken. I just don't have.
They might be, you just don't know.
Schrodinger's
That's
train
true.
bot.
But I don't have the urge to open them either after everyone had experiences with them.
Yeah, so what the upgrade kit is, it's like a spacer piece for the lower torso and thighs to like give him taller proportions in robot mode. The thing it doesn't do is fix like the arms being kind of stubby. It doesn't fix a big bunch of train garbage hanging off of the legs. There's a picture here of the torso extender with all the guns pegged onto it as if it was a battle embankment, as we were calling it a few weeks ago. Like, yeah, I see what they're trying to accomplish with this, and I genuinely do think the added height from this does help Raiden's proportions. Unfortunately, it does not actually help anything about what makes the toy bad in the first place.
Well,
Which is the toy itself.
Yes.
We've seen DNA do pretty hefty kits. I think we've all looked at them, and a few of us probably have a couple. This seems like they knew it was too much to fix with one kit, so they just fixed something that would be the most obvious to make it polish it a little bit, like you said. But I think Matt's right. I don't think there's enough kit in that they could make to fix all the problems.
Yeah, I can't immediately conceive of how many new parts they would have to design and tool up to actually, like, they can't fix the individual train bots. That's beyond the scope. But just to make Raiden itself uniformly better, like, there would need to be so much new stuff added by them. The upgrade kit would, as is already often the case with like the Generations toys, probably cost almost as much as Raiden itself by the time they were done with it, and like it's completely impractical to do that.
Yeah. I think DNA's target market for this is someone who bought the whole set, who has this transformed into, the combiner mode,
Mm-hmm.
just standing on the shelf, and they
thanks,
just want to make
what?
it.
I haven't spent nearly enough money on this yet.
Yes, their
They
target
just want to
audience.
make it look a little bit better.
Their target audience is buyer's remorse and sunk cost fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like that's just it, flat out. Yeah.
Well, they're trying to help in their own way.
Themselves to the money of people who have buyer's remorse and sunk cost fallacy.
It's a thriving market.
It is.
All right, let's move on to what we got this week. Diecast, why don't you go first since you're in Seattle?
I got probably a lot of stuff at home, but I have no idea what's in the boxes. So
Did you have any
gonna-
time to further mess with Fans Hobby Tsunami before you left on your business trip?
no,
Damn.
no,
You had one job, Diecast.
I know.
Okay, next week I expect to hear more about the actual handling of that toy after the promising start of just good battleship mode.
Yep. Yeah.
So work on that. Don, you're looking expectantly at me.
Oh no, just I have one thing. I was out today having dinner with friends, and we stopped by a local Walmart. I usually don't get to, and I found Legacy Lockdown. So I went ahead and picked it up because I didn't have it.
Star Raider.
Star Raider
Yeah.
Lockdown.
Yeah.
Star Raider
I'm sorry.
Lockdown, because I have not seen one actually in stores,
He makes a fine junkie on round.
and in person, I had my qualms about it for various reasons, but in person, it's really not as bad as I thought it would be. So I went ahead and picked it up. But that's all I've found on topic. Everything else is in transit.
Matt,
I have nothing.
Rob.
Also, nothing on topic.
Okay, we're making up a lot of time we spent on news topics with what we got this week. Okay, I have just a couple of things. Some late arrival birthday presents. Me and Rob have a friend from a long ways back in our Gundam fandom days, named Tally. She sent me from my Amazon wish list the Legacy Armada Wheeljack.
Oh, nice.
So that's a fine looking toy. Nathan Python Patroller got that too, and we were talking about it on the There Goes My Money recording last night, and like he echoed what John was saying last week about that the toy tells a lot of story, and like I agree with it a lot. Like there's a lot of character in that. There's a lot of information provided just in the sculpt and design of the toy, and like I already have the shattered glass version. Thank you for that, Matt. And like I liked that a lot, and I didn't originally think I needed or wanted the Wheeljack version, but like the colors really do look so good on this. And I hope in like as a an extra toss in some multi-pack or something down the road, they figure out a way to get us the Minicon wind shear for this in the correct colors, because like that's the only thing that this still needs really to finish the package here. And then Matt sent me off of my wish list probably the best Super 7 Ultimates Transformers figure that they will ever make, the Alligator-Con, complete with all of the City of Steel accessories.
Nice.
Yeah, because like of anything, that's like the ultimate expression of what the Ultimates line or what Red could have done. Like any of those high-end figure line. Well, Red's not a high-end figure line. I misspoke there, but any of those kind
It's
of.
a figure line. It's a figure line that's high because it's usually on the top riser and you have to pull it down.
I mean, thankfully, my stores around here have gotten rid of all of them at this point. So, like, I think the long national nightmare of Red series is finally over with. But yeah, like, I can't imagine Super 7 Ultimates achieving a more perfect execution in Transformers than doing something like the Alligator-Con. The only other thing they could possibly do, if they were actually doing new figure sculpts again, would be like Autobot Spike. Just something like that. But like the Alligator-Con is one of those things where like I can't conceive of any other way that you would actually get an official toy of that made. So that's really cool. And then I don't think I got any off-topic gifts coming in late, so I think that actually does it for me for on-topic what I got. That means we'll be moving into our off-topic what we got, aka ham sandwiches. This is content exclusive to our patrons. So if you would like to become a patron and get access to the full What We Got segment every week, as well as our pre-show podcast and a host of other perks, head over to patreon.com/tfradio and sign up today. So we'll go around in hopefully the same order if I remember. Diecast, do you have anything off topic you want to talk about?
I got nothing.
Yeah, I kind of figured. Don?
I got Dial Tone from Joe Classified. For some reason, he was shipped outside the rest of the other wave, so he came today.
Weird. Is that it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's it.
Wow, unusually light week for you, Don.
Well, probably needed to be.
Yeah, probably. If that's not a mood. Matt.
I got nothing.
Rob.
Yeah, I got a few things.
Okay, good. Give our patrons their money's worth.
Yeah. I got a couple more of the Bandai 30-minute missions kits, which just as a reminder are kind of like Gunpla, except with basically made of 3mm clips and ports, so that you can mix and match them and do whatever you feel like with them. I got in addition to one of the robots, I got a one of the like accessory vehicles, which can be taken apart to make, you know, armor and weapons and what have you. It's a little tilt rotor aircraft. It looked cute, honestly.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. The other thing I got is off of AliExpress. They had the high grade Jim Spartan, and for only $10 as opposed to the 40 plus it usually goes for.
Really?
And, you know, to my shock, it wound up being, you know, a bootleg.
Okay.
But it's not bad. It definitely you can definitely tell the difference. The parts fit is way better than the old, like, master grade GPO-1FB knockoff that I got from my brother. It doesn't look like it's made of marshmallow fluff. Molding is pretty sharp. Details look good. It just does require more effort to put together than a real one does. There's an awful lot of undergating, so you really have to make sure that seams are trimmed properly for things to fit together. The plastic definitely does feel a little bit cheaper. I forget, you got the like Easter basket third-party Combaticons that showed up like 10-15 years ago, right?
I still have Munitioner on my desk shelf right next to me.
Yeah, it's a little bit better than that in terms of quality, but it has that same kind of like very slick
crayon.
Yeah, like almost crayon, but not quite. It's like I said, slightly better plastic than that, but it has the same feel.
I mean, honestly, you can't get much worse plastic than that and have it still be plastic.
Yeah, and it also, just like if you ever intend to paint one of these, just make sure you wash them thoroughly because they come basically soaked in mold release agent. Yeah. And there was one more thing about it. Where did my brain go?
The Easter basket. It went to the Easter basket.
Yeah, it went to the Easter basket and did not come back. But no, the other thing about the kit is that it does. If you put together some of the older Gundam kits, you may remember that it was very easy for the polycaps to not want to go in straight and make it hard to actually get the pieces pushed together the way you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hasn't been a problem in Railgun Pla for years, but it is very, very common on this. Like, you can absolutely tell the difference in quality. You know, would I pay 5 times as much for this model to not have these problems putting it together? Possibly not, but you know, for $10, it is not bad. There's a couple other ones that I may, you know, roll the dice on at some point, just because the real ones were, you know, premium Bandai at a fortune. So
right,
but that is the extent of what I have got this week.
So my one off-topic get. Last week I went to Nashville to hang out with Hey Mickey for a little birthday get-together, and you know, as we tend to do, we go to the regular like secondhand toy stores and such around the Nashville area, and at one of the comic book stores on the north side of town that we like to visit, they had something interesting there that I decided to pick up for myself as a birthday present to me. So we talk sometimes about, you know, toys of Star Trek props and how, you know, features vary between them. And a couple of years ago, I think it was Josh Wheeljack64 got me the Playmates, the remake original series phaser, which is a very nice phaser toy. It is, you know, very Playmates, very toy phaser, though. It doesn't have the removable Type 1 in it. It's got a bunch of screw holes on the side. And, like, it has a good feel in the hand, good like, mass and balance to it a little bit. The sound effects in it are really good. But, you know, it was always missing a little something for having, like, all the, like, toy-facing characteristics of it. So imagine how interested I was when I went over to the display case in the comic book store and saw marked for $40 what I could only identify as the Diamond Select original series Star Trek phaser.
Oh, nice. Ooh. That is a great toy.
At a great price, too. I did some looking on that after I got home with it, and they tend to go on the secondary market for quite a bit more than that. I'm not selling this one. because like it's my first phaser that has a removable Type 1 on it. Um, so like I was saying, the Playmates one has a little bit better hand feel. The grip on the Phaser 2 body is a little bit bigger and thicker, and it just kind of fits my hand a little bit nicer. So it's a little bit awkward is not quite the right word, but it's not completely comfortable. Like how much I have to squeeze around this phaser, holding it in the Type 2 configuration. But like the Type 1 itself feels great. It's like the perfect size for a Type 1 phaser in my hand. Um, Getting a Type 1 phaser in this size, either original series or next generation, is practically impossible short of spending a small fortune. The Playmates next generation Type 1 phaser was ridiculously oversized. It was about the size of a small smartphone for like contemporary point of reference. And I think even the Gloob one was fairly oversized for what it was.
Yeah.
A high-end company made like a prop replica style TNG Type 1 phaser, but that again, that is a few $100s if you can find it, because I think it's out of production now. So like, it's very fun to pop the Phaser 1 off of this and just be able to have that and have it fit in my hand that the way I expect it to, the way it looks like it should from watching the TV shows. This was sold to me as working, but batteries not included. It takes LR44 batteries. I don't have any on hand. I have not been able to get any since getting this, so it has remained woefully silent since my purchase of it last week, but I will be getting some batteries for this and being very annoying with it. No, I love my Star Trek prop replica toys or just prop base toys when we're talking about, the lower end stuff like the Playmates ones. Like I'm so thrilled to have this. Like even the colors on this are just so like satisfyingly right. It's got that like very muted, like halfway between blue and gray body color. It's got the black handle. There were a few variations on the Diamond Select phaser with like a gray handle, a bronze handle. This is the black handle version, which I want to say is the most correct to how the phaser appeared through the majority of Star Trek the original series. So like if I'd had the choice of handle colors, this would have been what I would go with anyway. And to compare it to the Playmates remake one again, there's only one visible screw hole on it when you're holding it, which is just right behind the emitter head. There's another screw hole on the handle, but like when you're holding it, your hand completely obscures that. So like it looks damn near perfect when you're carrying it. If I recall correctly, when they did the Enterprise episodes in A Mirror Darkly, they actually used some of these for maybe not the hero props, but they used these for costumery in those episodes because I guess it was easier and cheaper to acquire those at that time than it was to cast their own prop phasers for those couple of episodes. So, I mean, that kind of highlights how good of a replica of the phaser this is. So, yeah, like, great way to cap off the birthday, great thing to find, be able to get for myself. I'm really, really pleased with that. And, of course, I've kept up the tradition of every time I go hang out with Hey Mickey, coming home with some kind of Star Trek toy. It
Nice.
basically never fails. Also, we got to go and eat at Jack in the Box for lunch that day and then go to Sushi Train for dinner later on. So it was a pretty good day all around, I gotta say.
I'm glad.
And also, when we were out, we were going around to Ross's because he was trying to find one of those $20 Ultimates bludgeons. We had no luck with that. One of them did have some Best Action Ninja Turtles figures on clearance for like $6.99, so I picked up a cartoon-style Casey Jones.
The regular or the one with the red, white, and blue motif?
No, the cartoon style. The Fred Wolf cartoon style.
Okay.
The good Casey Jones. The crazy Casey Jones. The only thing that would make it better is if it was a corporate Raiders from Dimension X Casey Jones with the business suit and the hockey mask. That's the best Casey Jones. But yeah, that is the extent of what I got, I believe, for this week on or off topic.
Quick question.
Yes.
I may have gotten distracted, but did you mention which set of colors you got on the Type 2 phaser?
You did get distracted because I did mention it's the black handle version.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I've got as well.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, I think that's the one that you like. It's representative of the most common phaser prop through the run of the original series, I believe.
Yeah, I believe there's also a white-handled version and a copper-colored handled version at least.
I think there's a gray handle version too.
Yeah.
The pictures I saw of the copper-colored one actually looks much more like a dark brown color than like bronze or copper. But yeah, like
Yeah.
there is several variations, and this one has a 2019 copyright stamp on it. So like Diamond was releasing these at several different points over the years because again they used these as at least background props in an Enterprise episode, and that would have been in 2006 or 7.
Yeah.
So they've been around for at least that long. I know they were originally released in conjunction with Art Asylum. This just has Diamond Select stamps on it.
Yeah, I didn't realize they'd been producing them along, for that long a time frame, but
Yeah, I mean, I was not able to find any specific information about different like editions of it, but like the copyright stamp doesn't lie. And if this was to be a bootleg, for instance, I don't know why they would go to the trouble of putting the copyright stamp on there in the first place and also setting the stamp to 2019.
yeah.
So, like necessarily there must have just been another issue of this almost 6 years ago now. Damn.
Yeah.
All right. So again, off topic, what we got are exclusive to our patrons. Patrons at every tier will get access to an ad-free version of Radio Free Cybertron without the automatically inserted pre and post-roll ads that our podcast host provides for us. The podcast will go up to the Patreon feed a day before it goes out to the public feed. Not 24 hours necessarily, but it will go up the day before it goes out to everybody else. You get the podcast at a higher bit rate. Again, you get the complete What We Got segment on the podcast, including our non-Transformers, like my super special birthday get this year. So if you want to find out about that and you're not a patron, consider going and signing up and taking a listen to the patron version of this episode. You also get the weekly Patreon exclusive pre-show podcast, which was so good this week that Ness in our Discord, tfradio.net/Discord, actually left Brian a message telling him that he didn't even need to post it. You get unedited episodes of RFC. That is, if Brian feels that there is like necessary content edits for a particular show, the original version will be made available on the Patreon feed exclusively. That doesn't count things like, if we stumble when we're talking or, extended silences that get cut out. Like, things that improve just the general quality of life for you, the listener, that tends to be universal regardless of version. But, like, if Diecast baits Don with mentions of Vanilla Ice, for instance, and Don righteously explodes at him, that probably won't go in the public version of the RFC episode that week, but you patrons, you'll absolutely get that. And if it's really good, we may even cut that out and make it its own special thing for you to download. Don, we're just over here all waiting for Meltdown 2. Like, we have to have that happen at some point before we all die. No pressure.
Right.
If you're a patron and you have your Patreon and Discord accounts linked, you will get a what Brian calls a fancy color for your username on the Discord server. The fancy color is just red. Brian thinks red is fancy. I don't know. I try not to judge. I'm judging him, but I try not to. You also get the There Goes My Money podcast a week early when it posts. Patrons at the Touch tier get to be on There Goes My Money. That usually records about twice a month. And, like, we record that pretty regularly. With the holidays and stuff, the schedule has been kind of whack. But, like, we have a pretty good time recording that. And I encourage anybody currently at the Touch tier who's not taking advantage of that perk, please consider coming and joining us for at least one recording and just sitting, having some fun with us, talking about spending money on toys. Like, it's the best way to spend 2 to 4 hours on a Tuesday night. And, if you're interested in having that experience for yourself and you're not a Touch patron, patreon.com/tfradio. It's very easy to go and get signed up and, reach out to us. We'll make sure you're up to speed with a microphone, your internet's fine and everything, and we'll get you set up to come and sit on the show with us. And of course, finally, our touched patrons get to have a shout out every week on the show. And as soon as the tab loads for me, I will do that right now. So I want to thank our touched patrons, Kevin Dorsey, Daniel Scott, Jacob Owen Lutia, Sean Bratton, Emmett Sresovich, Hector Bones, Jay Kleinrye, Joey Russell, Here's Why It's Cool, Rabbits, Ryan Bona, Sean Hamilton, Sean Williamson, Spider Bob, Trickster, Nathan's Fast Talk Food Reviews, and Mollis Koenig. Also, go find Spider Bob on his social media account, SpiderBob007. He had a bit of a spill last week and broke his leg, and he's doing fine. He's on the mend, but I'm sure he would appreciate some well wishes toward his recovery over the next several weeks. Unbreak
Best
a leg.
wishes, Bob.
Yeah, unbreak a leg, Bob, is the best thing I can say at that point.
Spider Bob.
Captain Rufus asks if his soul is weighted by Earth's gravity. If not his soul, his body certainly is.
Well, there for probably 0.2 seconds it wasn't.
Ah, yeah, maybe so. I mean, like, I guess it's a point of view problem, because, like, from a small enough time scale, then, like, yes, I guess he was, like, suspended there for some measurable length of time. Whether there was a length of time that we can actually perceive is another matter, because I think, once his footing went out from under him, it was probably just a straight downward path.
Yeah. But for a moment, he was completely untethered from Earth.
Yeah.
And then Earth got mad and yanked him down.
Yeah, he was untethered from Earth and his stairway. It was not a stairway to heaven, fortunately. We're glad Bob is still with us. All right. Brian is not here with us this week. If he was, that whole tangent just now would have been curtailed quite quickly. But you can find him on Blue Sky at kilby.bsky.social and his website, briankilby.com. I am on Blue Sky at chrisrtxv.bsky.social. I watched the Section 31 movie over the weekend, unfortunately. Go have a look on my Blue Sky account if you want to follow along with the thread I made as I was live posting about the movie as I watched it. It was an experience that I had.
You wouldn't recommend?
No. John DeLuna was not present with us tonight. He is that John D basically everywhere, and he is Cloudburst on eBay. Go check out his sales. Rob Springer is not a regular part of the show, but he will always be a member of the RFC family. You can find him on Blue Sky at zonebase.bsky.social and zonebase.org. And I believe the most recent episode of his podcast, Transform Squadron, came out last week. So go and you can find that in our, I think, all of our Transformers podcast feed on the website. Yeah, okay. Rob, where do we find you?
I'm on Blue Sky at Rob Flails. I am on YouTube at Flailthroughs. I mostly cover Gundam games. Big update to Gundam Battle Operation 2 this week. They're adding a new cost. They're adding a new way to upgrade mobile suits. And they are adding the G-Doors from Moon Gundam, which has even more giant plates on its back than anything we've had previously. Very exciting. I also just got word that they have added the Gundam EX and DG Quacks to Gundam Breaker 4, so probably going to end up with some kind of content about that soon.
Mm-hmm.
If you like what I'm doing over there, patreon.com/flailthroughs. You can support the channel. You can also make requests if you go for that tier. Request a specific design, mobile suit, weapon combination, what have you, in either Breaker 4 or GBO2. And if you just feel like sending me something, tfradio.net/playlist. That is an affiliate link, so a little bit will go back to the show with no additional expenditure to you.
So Captain Rufus spoke up to point out that the reference to a soul being weighed down by Earth's gravity was to do with Brian Kilby, not Spider Bob, and he has insisted on a correction being made during the podcast. So there you go, Rufus. I'm sorry I have besmirched your good name, and in insinuating that you would make light of Spider Bob's crashing down to Earth.
That's a very Gundam sounding thing to hear, though.
Yes, yes, the soul being weighed down by Earth's gravity is specifically a Gundam thing. That was a prevailing theme in Zeta Gundam in particular, where like one of the main motivations of the protagonist faction was to get Earth's leadership to go to space because they felt that that would awaken them to the potential of the future and make them less horrible people. And I would certainly love to see a bunch of people sent up to space at this point in the real world too, for hopefully the same reason. But yeah, the shorthand for that was that people's souls were weighed down by gravity, and that's why they couldn't like make the transition into the new era.
Yeah, Rufus was responding to my quote, which was, "Brian thinks red is a fancy color, yet has never watched Universal Century Gundam." And I'm not sure how that works.
Don, how about we go to you next?
I can be found on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR. I can be found on Blue Sky at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.bluesky.social. And now, Sundays at 8 p.m., I can be seen on Plasticast. Myself, Plasticon, Megamus, and Sideburn are getting together to do a podcast on Plasticon's channel, Plasticon Studios on YouTube. We're still working everything out, format, but we want to be fun. We want to be just 4 guys talking about stuff we love. So check us out. Again, we're still working the kinks out. The trailer is up. Again, Plasticon Studios on YouTube. Look for the Plasticast trailer when it goes up, if it's not already up by now. And be sure to check us out. We hope we'll keep you entertained. Also have an Amazon wish list, tfradio.net/dauntlist.
I can't believe Don's cheating on us with another podcast again.
Did you get Brian's permission to promote that?
I don't think he did.
I texted him right after you said something, and I texted him.
I'm messing with you, Don.
I know.
I can't believe Don's cheating on us again. Matt,
Brian will wake up tomorrow and think that the permission was like some kind of fever dream and not remember having done it.
I had the text.
Yeah, it's good to keep the receipts. Matt, do you
Always.
want people to be able to find you this week?
I mean, they can try melvar.bsky.social, but I'm avoiding it again.
Fair enough. 3 L's, 2 R's.
Yep.
Diecast?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Diecast2 or X and Blue Sky. I always forget that. And then you can like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast, and you can see my reviews, including my new reviews of the Blockies Galaxy version 6 on youtube.com/RFC reviews or tfradio.net/reviews.
Yeah, go give Diecast some views and some thumbs up so he feels encouraged to like get back on the horse and get back in practice with it.
Yeah, I keep telling Don I think I got the DX9 Masterpiece Sideswipe in at home. I don't know because I'm away, so I can't confirm, but I got an email that looks like it may have been delivered. And I was thinking about doing a review of that, so Don won't watch it. Because Don won't watch it, I need other people to watch it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week. We'll be back next time, hopefully with a hale and hearty, healthy Brian Kilby leading us once again, and maybe even John DeLuna back with us. It's been a little bit since we've had him on for like consecutive shows, and it'd be nice to have like the whole band back here again for a little bit. All right. Well, thank you all for being here, and we will see you next time.
Recording stopped.
Hooray! Live stream audience. I'm going to go ahead and work on getting that shut down. So thank you so much for being here with us. We will be back, same RFC time, same RFC channel, hopefully not same RFC host.
Okay, so Exvee, before we started recording, I was
Oh, hang on.
trying to ask.
I haven't hit the end button yet.
It's fine. People
okay.
can hear it. It's fine.
Okay.
I was going to ask you. You know my feelings on Star Trek Picard season 2.
Yeah.
What would you prefer, that I watch that again or Section 31?
Season 2.
Oh wow.
Yes.